All right, what's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome back. If you're new to the channel, I go by Zombie. I'm very passionate about self improvement and I'm very passionate about spirituality, specifically astrology. And so, one of my goals with this YouTube channel is to be able to break everything down right in a very simple way that most anyone can understand, right? And so, in this series, I've been doing the signs. The fifth sign of the zodiac is Leo, and if you were born between July 23rd and August 22nd, then congratulations, you are considered a Leo in Western tropical astrology. But for the sake of this video, we're not going to get into all of that. So, yeah, Leo's ruling planet, right? In astrology, every sign is a ruling planet. And the sun isn't, technically a planet, but in astrology, it's considered a planet for the sake of, just explaining it. And also understanding it, right? And so the sun as a planet, right, whatever, as a celestial body, is usually generally associated with the ego in astrology, as well as your vitality, creativity and willpower and self-expression as well. And so the fifth house is the house associated with Leo, right? In astrology, a house is just a aspect of life, right? Or in areas of life, such as, let's just say, with Leo's being creative, performing arts, right? Or acting, right? Or the romantic side of it, right? Because the fifth house also is associated with romance, and so dating, is thrown in there, as well as sex, but not really sex, more of the dating, like foreplay side of it, right? The playful, it's really playful, right? The Leo energy, right? Very childlike, right? The energy, the essence of children, right, is associated with Leo in the fifth house. And so, moving on to the duality, as a fire sign, Leos are very masculine, right? Naturally, and although everyone as an individual has, a natural level of masculine and feminine energy, again, as a fire sign, Leos are naturally very masculine and driven. So, mode, in astrology, there's three modes. You have cardinal, fixed, and mutable, and the mode will just tell you a little bit more about, the general, personality type and disposition of, the individual. So the element, as I already said, is fire. Fire is associated with, self-expression, aggression, in a sense, passion, and soul, really, like, overall. If you want to think about, like, passion and desire, just if you think of someone you like, people tend to say Sagittarius has, like, a lot of soul, right? That's the fire, element of it, right? And so that also promotes drive and willpower as well. So as a fixed fire sign, right, the mode fixed, to sum it up, basically, means stubborn or immovable in a sense, right, when it comes to a certain outlook or point of view. And so as a fixed fire sign, when it comes to their, creative projects, or really ideas in general, but more specifically creative projects, Leo really will, try to, bring that down to earth, and they really will put a lot of that willpower and drive into doing that, and making sure, it comes to life exactly how, they saw it, right? Exactly how they intended it to. And that's not every Leo, of course, everyone's different, but generally Leos, are, very artistic in a way. They can be very spiritual, as well. And so the body part associated with the sign Leo is the heart, right? The sun is also associated with, the heart. Again, like your soul. Your sun sign is basically like, it's your ego in a sense, right? How you see yourself, your identity, how you want other people to see you, but it's also your soul in a sense, because once you do shadow work, and once you start to break down your ego not really break down, because you can't get rid of the ego, but once you start to become more aware of it, right, and can manage that aspect of yourself, then you're still a Leo, right? You're still whatever your sun sign is, but you're operating on a more higher frequency of expression when it comes to that energy, right? And not like the lower, like egocentric version of like that sign, right? Again, everything is duality to everything, is balance to everything. There's a positive, expression of energy as well as a negative expression of energy, no matter like what it is. And so the body parts associated, again, like I said, the heart, right? If you're not, doesn't mean you have a good heart or a bad heart. You could develop heart issues down the line, right? As a Leo, you may be more prone to it. But again, the heart, hair, your hair, if you know a Leo, you know how much they, love their hair, especially the girls, and always trying to keep their hair, up, or maybe changing their hairstyle, often, or maybe their hair grows really fast, or they just have a lot of it, right? And so the chakra associated with Leo, right? I'm gonna do a separate series on chakras as well, but chakras are simply, energy centers in your body, right? And so the solar plexus, that's the third one. It's located like in your stomach, region. Like if you ever heard the term like gut feeling or something like that, people kind of talking about like your solar plexus area. And so your solar plexus has to do a balanced solar plexus, because again, duality, it could be balanced, it could be imbalanced depending on, your habits and like your health and things of that nature, how you take care of yourself. But the solar plexus, especially when balanced, can help to promote your self-expression, as well as, again, your willpower and your drive to get things done. And so the colors associated with Leo be orange. Orange, again, is associated with that creativity, most definitely. And, if you want to do your own, dive into color psychology, right? You can see all of this stuff for yourself. But orange and gold also, excuse me, not just the color, but the element gold is definitely associated with royalty, and like that prestige, Leo energy or vibe that they can give off, about themselves at times. Because again, the ego, like Leos naturally have bigger egos, and that, again, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It could be a bad thing, it could be a good thing. It is just, all depends on the person. So crystals, or the gems associated with Leo, is of course, onyx and peridot. And onyx is a good grounding stone, right? And peridot is definitely definitely a good mood stabilizer. And moving on to the characteristics here, some character traits. My bad. Moving on to some character traits here. On the positive side, Leos can be very brave, can be very enthusiastic, and very outgoing, right? Again, very bold, most definitely. Leos are very bold, and that can sometimes land them in, bad situations if they jump into things, but most of the time it's not, that's not bad at all, right? Courage is most definitely a virtue, arguably, the most valuable virtue. And so the negative traits, Leos can be very vain sometimes, they can be very vain. Again, they have big egos, can be very, in love with themselves, right? Very egotistical, egocentric, right? Selfish, to put it simply. And they can be quite over dramatic at times as well. Again, think fifth house, you think actors, right? Performers. They can be very over dramatic, right? I already said that, the flair for the dramatic, aspect to their personality. And that can be, that can be bad when you're being dramatic and ignoring, it can be bad, excuse me, it can be bad when you're being dramatic, right, as a way to escape or ignore, a fault or something you may be wrong about, or just a negative situation, or just to push some shit to the side, right, or just blatantly ignore whatever, because Leos love attention too. You know, if you think about cats, right? Again, they're represented by the lion. If you think about cats, cats love attention, and cats are always grooming themselves. And again, Leos can be usually found somewhere in the mirror. Nah, Leos are cool, but most definitely they can be over dramatic, and that can be a bad thing if you're being dramatic and ignoring where you're wrong, right, in a situation, or if you're just doing it for attention, right, because you just love the attention, and you're, you know, being the instigator, right, just for attention. So most definitely can be negative in that sense, but overall, like I said, that's Leo energy. Next I'm going to be doing Virgo. And if you found this entertaining or informative, right, in the slightest bit, definitely please like and subscribe. And I will catch y'all on the flip. Peace.